Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. Today is, well, let's do the whole darn weekend. Saturday, the 30th of May, National Creativity Day. Also National Water a Flower Day, National Hole in My Bucket Day, which it's going to kind of slow down watering flowers. National Mint Julep Day, Loomis Day, and World Multiple Sclerosis Day, also known as MS. Sunday, the 31st of May, Autonomous Vehicles Day. I'm not a big fan of that. That's the cars that drive themselves.
Okay.
I'm not ready for that. National Save Your Hearing Day, National Speak in Sentences Day, National Macaroon Day, National Utah Day, National Smile Day, and Necrotizing Fasciitis Awareness Day. I'm not sure what that is. It apparently needs a little more awareness. So, all of that. And I've got a guest today, Heidi.
Okay.
David Ignatius. He's got a new thriller about the CIA. It's called The Paladin. I'm excited to chat with him all about this. It's coming up here in just a bit on the weekend edition of the John and Heidi Show. Many people have dabbled in the stock market for their very first time ever this year. If you're new to the market, but you don't want to learn things the hard way and the expensive way, I encourage you to subscribe to this free newsletter. You can get the inside track with Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at marketbeatminute.com. Subscribe for free. If you change your mind, just unsubscribe. Sign up for free right now at marketbeatminute.com. That's marketbeatminute.com. Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. A new survey found that millennials prefer robot bankers over human bankers. So they'd rather go to like an ATM or they'd rather go to...
Millennials are uncomfortable with any face-to-face contact of any kind.
Not all.
Which is unfortunate.
That's one of the sad things is they generalize, you know, when they do these surveys. So don't blame it on me.
But but a lot of them that I know are very uncomfortable.
You're making
me
a
phone call, talking on the phone with anybody. If it's somebody I've talked to in person, our daughter is one. She's
not a millennial though. She's the generation after millennials.
Okay, well, our son is the other one, and he is a millennial.
Yeah. They just don't like talking to us because we're the parents.
No, anything, making it a hair appointment or anything. It's anything.
That's true. Well, I've got a link to the survey if you want to read all the details. It's in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
Some credit cards have really high rates or big annual fees. Usually, people sign up for these when it's all they qualify for. If that sounds like you, it may be time to get a better credit card. Over time, your situation changes, and you may qualify for a better credit card. Your current card hopes you don't think about it, but our site shows you many options to see if there's a better credit card for you. Check it out for free at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
This is your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by TimeForRehab.com. I just looked at this story. I don't know that anybody's under the influence in this, but it has to do with alcohol, so that's how it ended up here. So I'm going to apologize in advance. I don't know that this really belongs here. But they put the bar in Salad Bar. A Missouri supermarket is selling miniature liquor bottles instead of veggies at a serve-yourself salad station during the coronavirus. According to a viral tweet, the grocery store has replaced the salad in the salad bar with liquor, shopper Emily posted on Twitter, along with a photo of the boozy bar. She said that she found this at Dyersburg's Market. The image shows piles of 99-cent hard liquor bottles on one side of the station, along with beer on the other side. It drew cheers from pandemic-weary booze hounds on social media. One person said, best, period, salad, period, bar, period, Eva, E-V-A-H, all in, caps.
I would agree with that. It's clever.
So it is.
They can't use it for what they were using it for before. So
exactly. So what they did is they said, well, we can't put salad on here. We can't put food. So let's put something. Yeah.
I think that's a great idea.
Interesting idea. Again, it probably doesn't belong here, but you can find the info in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by channelsurfertv.com. The top talent agency, like the agency for Hollywood stars.
Sure.
We don't have agents, do we? Who's our agent? Get my agent on the line.
We do not have
an
agent.
We don't have an agent? I am my own agent.
If we did, they'd be fired.
Anybody confused by the fact that we don't have agents? Like, you don't need an agent. But we've been in movies, Heidi.
We have.
So, not good movies, but we've been. Anyway, CAA is the top agency in Hollywood. They just signed their first virtual celebrity, Magela, to an acting deal. The virtual actress is a digital creation who does not eat food, does not drink, it's all digital. But somebody created this virtual celebrity, Magela, and now Magela has an agent.
Wow.
I don't know how all that works. Think they still get 10%, or do they get more than that, or 15? What does an agent get these days?
I have no idea.
And this is kind of a fun thing, and I don't know that it belongs here, but big screen, little screen. It was on TV, and it was like the biggest sports event of the last 3 months. It was last weekend. Tiger Woods and Peyton Manning won the match against Tom Brady and Phil Mickelson last Sunday, raising $20 million for charity, which is awesome. Brady made the biggest headline of the day when he split his pants after hitting a shot, apparently.
Funny.
So, but it was on like 6 different networks because there's no sports.
Right.
So like, wait, you guys got a game? Oh, hey, let's all watch that. So it's like other channels were just watching that channel, apparently. So big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com.
We're here to make it better.
If you find that drug or alcohol problems are hitting you too close to home, you can get help. Maybe it's time for rehab. Your insurance may even cover everything. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. Get help for a drug or alcohol problem within 24 hours.
We're here to make it better.
Get more information at timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Now your scoop of the day comes your way courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. The New York Stock Exchange reopened this week. The famed trading floor reopened with a new set of social distancing guidelines.
Okay.
So I'm not exactly sure what those are. It's funny because online, every joke that people had posted online about this, like all the witty comments, all had to do with drugs. How sad is that?
That is sad.
Every one of them. So I was like, well, you'd think that somebody would have come up with something about greed, but they were all about drugs.
Yeah.
So apparently the stock exchange trading floor apparently is known for drugs. I didn't even know that, so I don't get out much. A new lawsuit accuses the bankrupt marijuana company MedMen, see what they did there,
Oh, cute.
of wasting investors' money on excessive security for their executives. Wait a minute, you're telling me people that are involved in drugs are paranoid? Mm-hmm. All right. Hey, a photo of Bigfoot doing yoga at a California nursing home has gone viral. Now, I actually put this in the show notes, and I put this in writing because I want to make sure people understand. Here's what I added to the story. For the record, it's a person in a costume. I added that.
I don't think you really needed to add that. I think people know.
I wanted to make sure, because this was actually listed through, I'm going to click on I think it's the New York Post. Yeah, New York Post, because I just clicked on the link that we have in the show notes. The New York Post posted this, and they did not say that it was a person in a costume.
I bet the article does.
No, well, when you get there, you can tell. But I'm saying this is why people don't believe the news anymore. Because I was like, oh, wow, Bigfoot doing yoga in a nursing home?
You knew better. You are so ridiculous.
I kind of knew better, but I also thought this is why they have people shouting fake news at them all the time. Hey, a video of massive crowds of people partying poolside on bars and whatnot at the Lake of the Ozarks in Missouri over the Memorial Weekend has gone viral. So Missouri is open for business once again.
Good for them.
And there are people that are not too thrilled about that in other places. Here's the good news. If you don't want to go there, don't go there. And those who do, if they get to pay the price, they get to pay the price. So, but there are some folks that are really worked up about that. This I'm going to save because I don't have time. I'm looking at how much time I have left here, and there's no way I've got time to get into that story. But I have this one. Lady Gaga says she has, quote, flirted with the idea of sobriety, end quote, while she was recording her new album. So apparently she's having some issues, and she's going, I'm thinking about maybe not drinking anymore. So,
well, that's unfortunate.
What's the unfortunate part?
That she's only thought about it and hasn't moved forward with
there
it.
you
If
go.
there's an issue, then...
Yeah, I suppose. I was really confused when you were saying that was unfortunate. And country singer Morgan Wallen has been arrested for public intoxication and disorderly conduct after he was kicked out of Kid Rock's bar downtown Nashville. And online I had several people saying, how drunk do you have to be to get kicked out of his bar? So apparently very drunk. Thanks for listening to your Scoop of the Day on the weekend edition of the John and Heidi Show.
Do you pay too much for insurance? Have you looked around? Or are you too chicken? Don't be afraid to look around to see if you can find a better deal at InsuranceChicken.com. We make it super simple for you to see rates from several different companies, to see what they have to offer, all in one place. Peck out great insurance deals at InsuranceChicken.com. Is it time for you to cross the road? See if we can save you money each month at InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Our guest today is a best-selling author and prize-winning columnist from the Washington Post, David Ignatius. He's got a new CIA thriller out right now. It's called The Paladin. Tell us a little bit about this book.
Well, it's the kind of read that I hope people will enjoy and find a distraction in what remains of our stay-at-home period. And like you, I hope we'll be getting out in the outdoors, but in the meantime, here's something to read.
David, The Paladin is your 11th CIA thriller. Do I need to read the other 10 for this one to make sense?
No, each of them really is standalone. They have separate characters. I've been writing about the CIA since the late 1980s, long time, but each of the books is a snapshot of the agency and issues that I think are interesting at the time. This book is about an issue that's coming at the world of intelligence and really at all of us, which is known by the shorthand deep fakes, which means not just fake news, fake stories about things like we saw during the 2016 election, like we see all the time, but false events, video, voice imagery that seems real, that seems to have happened, but has been created in a computer. And that technology now exists. It's being used already. Our intelligence agencies are terrified that people are going to use this to create basically false events that skew us, that pitch us toward war, that manipulate events. These also can be used by companies in the market to gin up demand, to crush their competitors. So this world is the one that my hero in the book, the Paladin, is struggling to understand and then defeat.
So The Paladin has to be the first, or at least one of the first books ever about deep fakes.
So yeah, I think, John, this is probably one of the first novels that's really thought about this in detail. In my spy novels, I try to be very realistic and to think about the issues that the CIA is going to be thinking about, struggling with in the next few years. My previous novel to this one was called The Quantum Spy, and it was about the battle for supremacy in quantum computing, as it's called, between the U.S. and China. That's taking place for real. If you've been reading the news, you know that there are quantum computers now that people say really work, that have the ability to do computations at a speed that was just unimaginable a few years ago. So the same thing with deep fakes. We're going to be in a world where we're going to need for our intelligence agencies to know that some piece of video that's surfaced that might be pitching us toward a war with Iran, let's say, there's a piece of video that showed the Iranians attacking some American garrison in the Gulf seemed completely real. Let's imagine the world of business, something that showed an oil leak out of a tanker, massive leak, the company's stock would plummet. You think of dozens of ways that this technology could be applied that would be very damaging. And our intelligence agencies are trying to figure out now, how are we going to know what's real and what isn't?
We can no longer believe our eyes, can we?
So that's really the problem. It's there in front of your eyes. Even if you're as skeptical as can be, that imagery, sound, and video can be so real that without help you can't distinguish. There are, thank goodness, some technologies that people are using to be able to see the difference. If you slow video down super, super slow, you can see tiny differences. Even if you wouldn't see it when it was running at normal speed, tiny differences in pixels and light variation that allow people to say, this is manufactured. So in the laboratory, you can still kind of deconstruct it.
Nice.
DARPA, which is our advanced science wing at the Pentagon, has got a special project called Media Forensics. For the last 2 or 3 years, they've been doing research to figure out how we're going to detect the fake information that's out there that might be trying to trick our country, trick our politicians, So thank goodness the work is being done. I know Facebook and Google also in the private sector are working on this.
Well, David, thank you for bringing this topic to the forefront. This technology is there, but I know there are some people who don't realize it's even there. So thank you for writing a book about deepfakes to hopefully make this something that people are more aware of.
Thank you, John. Happily, in my book, the hero of the book, the Paladin, ends up figuring out a way to defeat the technology that's coming at him. So I think there's hope for all of us.
Absolutely. Again, our guest today has been best-selling author David Ignatius. His new book just came out. It's called The Paladin. I've got a link to it in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Many people have dabbled in the stock market for their very first time ever this year. If you're new to the market, but you don't want to learn things the hard way and the expensive way, I encourage you to subscribe to this free newsletter. You can get the inside track with Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at marketbeatminute.com. Subscribe for free. If you change your mind, just unsubscribe. Sign up for free right now at marketbeatminute.com. That's marketbeatminute.com. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The Earth will not always have the same North Star. Sounds kind of weird. The North Star might seem like it's pretty fixed in the sky. However, what we recognize as the North Star today, Polaris, hasn't always been our guiding light, and it won't always be the guiding light in the future. By the year 13,000 AD, so right now we're in 2020, so several years from now, 13,000 AD, the star Vega will take the place of that North Star, according to NASA. And by the year 26,000, so another 13,000 years later, Polaris will be right back where it was and return to the status as a North Star. So apparently some things fluctuate, and that's one of them. So there you go.
Interesting.
If that person who did the calculations at NASA was correct, then that is a fact. Otherwise, it's just somebody's opinion. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
Some credit cards have really high rates or big annual fees. Usually, people sign up for these when it's all they qualify for. If that sounds like you, it may be time to get a better credit card. Over time, your situation changes, and you may qualify for a better credit card. Your current card hopes you don't think about it, but our site shows you many options to see if there's a better credit card for you. Check it out for free at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Now, a news headline from somewhere in this world, Dateline, Russia. Russian officials are still trying to determine how 3 doctors fell out of the same hospital window, coincidentally, after they all criticized the Russian government.
Yikes.
Coincidentally. All about the coronavirus. They coincidentally fell out a window.
That's a concern, isn't it?
To their death. So 3 doctors spoke out against the government of Russia. 3 doctors all fell out of the same window and died.
Yeah, that's a little fishy.
They should probably fix that window. 'Cause I'm thinking it's the window.
Yeah.
I'm thinking. All right. Thanks for listening to a news headline from somewhere in this world.
We're here to make it better.
If you find that drug or alcohol problems are hitting you too close to home, you can get help. Maybe it's time for rehab. Your insurance may even cover everything. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. Get help for a drug or alcohol problem within 24 hours.
We're here to make it better.
Get more information at timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Now, some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. Heartbroken woman in China took some revenge on her boyfriend by dumping a ton of onions on his doorstep. That's like 2,000 pounds.
Oh,
apparently,
geez.
in a bid to make him cry as much as she cried. That was what she said. Daily Mail says the woman, identified only by her surname Zhao, Z-H-A-O, was devastated when her boyfriend broke up with her. They'd been together for over a year, but the man reportedly cheated on her. Oh. Furious at this, Mrs. Zhao decided to get about 2,200 pounds of onions delivered to his doorstep. She sent instructions that the veggies were to be dumped on the offending ex-boyfriend's doorstep without contacting him. Photos and videos have gone massively viral on social media in China and elsewhere. Show sacks of red onions being delivered to his home. Along with the onions, she sent a note that read, "I've cried for 3 days. Now it's your turn." So, there you go.
Yikes.
Interesting story. I didn't know where else to put it, so it's definitely today's weird news.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh, brought to you by InsuranceChicken.com. Florida Sheriff's Office employee hid a camera in his roommate's bedroom and spied on her. Llewellyn Berkshire III, a 28-year-old communications specialist, was busted Saturday, a week ago, after his roommate found a GoPro camera in a vent in her bedroom. So the roommate was not identified, told deputies she discovered a recording device Friday when she noticed she couldn't see light in a vent that adjoined to the kitchen. Usually she'd see light shining through, and she thought, well, why is the light not on in there? And she went over to look, and there was a GoPro camera looking in to see her.
Oh,
so at first, the dude that got in trouble, Berkshire, whatever his name is here, told the lady, whoa, maybe a maintenance man put it there. So she reached out to the apartment supervisors, and nobody had been in there for like 4 weeks, 5 weeks, whatever. He later did admit that he put it in there. Investigators seized the camera and his cell phone and his laptop. He was charged with a count of video voyeurism, been relieved of his duties, working as a criminal investigator, which, if you're a criminal investigator, you would think you'd be smarter than that, but apparently not. He's in a lot of trouble, and it's today's moment of duh.
Do you pay too much for insurance? Have you looked around? Or are you too chicken? Don't be afraid to look around to see if you can find a better deal at InsuranceChicken.com. We make it super simple for you to see rates from several different companies, to see what they have to offer, all in one place. Peck out great insurance deals at InsuranceChicken.com. Is it time for you to cross the road? See if we can save you money each month at InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Time now for fake news or Florida. Heidi, tell me, is this a true story from the great state of Florida, or is it hashtag fake news made up to trick you and amuse me? Are you ready?
I am ready.
All right, here we go. Fake news or Florida. Longwood, Florida man arrested for playing basketball naked in a public park told the police that he thought it would enhance his skill level. Fake news or Florida?
Florida.
It is a true story. Really? Why in the world would you think that's going to help? I mean,
stranger things have happened in Florida.
Well, yes, that's true. But this is just a bizarre one. And again, it's in Longwood, California. If you look online at the story, there's a lot of funny little puns about that.
That's funny.
Thanks for listening to the weekend edition of the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news. I think this is good news. Comes your way courtesy of hashtag gift card challenge, also online at giftcardchallenge.org. I shared this with my beautiful bride. I don't know when this would have been. Maybe a week ago? I don't know. Something like that. But there's a really cool thing. A man who lost his father when he was young, his dad walked out on the family when he was a child, is now making how-to videos for people who are being raised without dads. And this is
super cool.
It's a cool story. His father, it says, a father whose dad walked out on his life when he was 12, launched a YouTube channel to make instructional videos for basic tasks that everyone should know how to do. In 6 short weeks, more than 1.7 million subscribers have signed up to watch this. Rob Kennedy launched the channel, Dad, How Do I?, on April the 1st, 2020. He released a new video every week teaching young adults how to do basic things like changing a tire on a car, how to unclog a sink, how to iron a dress shirt. Kenny is a father of 2 children. He never expected the channel would blow up like this in such a short amount of time. Unable to respond to the thousands of messages he gets each and every day, he made a thank you video just to show his appreciation. And you can tell this guy is just a super cool, very nice dude.
So neat. I love this.
He said, I've been a little bit of an emotional wreck today, a little overwhelmed by all the amazing stories that you've shared with me. He said, I just have such a heart, I just want to pass along a heartfelt thank you. He said his intention was to help maybe a few people, fix a few things, but he had no idea it was
How
going to turn
many?
into this.
Oh,
yeah.
that's
He said, I
so
know
great.
the internet can be toxic, and it just shouldn't be that way. We need to be kind to each other. And I can show you a link on our page here, on our show notes, where you can actually click to subscribe to the channel, and you can help him have even more subscribers. And I watched a few of the videos. It's really simple. He walks through simple steps, which I think is really good, too.
Yeah.
And I learned some things. So I'm going to go take care of some honeydew projects now.
Oh, good.
I've done everything wrong for so long. No, actually, I think I got a pretty good handle on what I'm doing, but I do have to fix a shelf. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend.